Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and this one is going to be the Crait update part 5. This one is a special video because we're probably going to have the most amount of progress done out of any update video we've been able to show to you guys. If you guys didn't catch it, earlier this week we did a surprise little build stream because we had some parts come in, and then we also did another stream on Friday, so we got basically twice the amount of work done this week that we normally would have gotten done. I think you guys are going to be very pleasantly surprised with it if you haven't been keeping up with the live streams. And then second, I've been working very hard on the AT-M6. I finally have finalized the design, so I'm going to show you guys a good render of that, as well as like the LED file of the finished AT-M6, and then I'm going to show you guys some of the parts that I've picked out because I'm going to start building this thing very soon. If you guys want to see an in-depth look at the build process of the AT-M6, I think I'm going to go ahead and do like a build stream. So sometime during the week, I'll hop on here and I'll show you guys me actually putting together the AT-M6, and it'll be a learning process for you as well as me because I'm still not sure if this thing is structurally sound. Of course, I tried to do my best to make sure that everything is going to work out pretty well, but only time will tell. So you guys will get to see that live as I will. You may even get to see the walker collapse in my arms. Hopefully not, but it is a possibility. So I feel like it's can't miss material. Make sure you guys check that out whenever I do the live stream for the AT-M6. So without further ado, guys, let's dive right into this video and show you what we've been up to lately. Alright guys, so let's look at the AT-M6 now. I've been working on this thing for about a month now, and it's finally done. I can't believe it, but this thing is actually finished. It ended up being 15,580 pieces, which is absolutely ridiculous. So this will be my biggest singular build ever. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Fortunately, there's a lot of basic brick involved in it, so I won't have to place too many orders. I have a lot of the basic brick. Like I have tons of 2x6 in dark gray and pieces in dark gray, as I'm sure you could figure out if you've seen our Crait MOC with the big citadel in it. So that's not going to be a huge problem, thankfully, because I mean I'm going to need all the help I can get trying to build this thing. I'm going to need as many parts from my collection as possible because it's going to be an expensive build. It's going to be a big build. It's going to be a heavy build. But if it works out the way I'd like it to, it'll be a very fulfilling build. So if you're in the comments, guys, let me know what you think about this beast, and let me show you guys some really cool renders of it, just so you can get a better look at what the actual model will look like. I think it looks just awesome. I'm really happy with it. If there's one thing I had to say I'm most proud of in this is that I think I captured just the overall shape of the AT-M6 really well. And I think that's really important, especially with big builds like this. Like, if the shape isn't correct, I feel like it really sticks out and people will notice it. But I think I was able to capture that pretty well. And if there's one thing that I really, really like in this MOC, it has to be those front legs. I think the amount of detail I was able to add into them, it looked really good, and I'm really happy I was able to capture just the overall shape of it in the front. That was probably the part that I was most scared to build because I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So of course, let me know what you think, guys. This thing is going to be an absolute monster. A lot of people were asking, how many of these are going to be in the MOC. There's only going to be one. We honestly really don't even have the space to have multiple AT-M6s in the MOC. We're going to have this on one side, and then we're going to have the first order walker, AT-AT walker on the other side. So I think we'll be pretty good on the walker quota, especially with both of them being so massive. I think you guys will be really happy with what the end product will look like. So that's going to finish up this part, guys. Let's move on to the actual landscape part of the build. All right, guys, so here we go. This is what we've been working on so far. I know you guys are probably initially going to notice the fact that it seems like positive work has been done over here and then negative work has been done over there. I basically had to pull up a lot of the tiles in this section to be able to make room for the AT-M6 footprints. So I don't know exactly like where they're going to be on this MOC because I don't have the AT-M6 built yet, but I was able to measure out with the LDD files that I have just to see like where the feet are going to be. So those parts won't need to have tiles underneath them because like the feet are going to be covering it, so we can use those tiles in other places. But there are going to be some footprints basically between the back feet and the front feet right here. So I had to pull up some of the tiles, replace them with this red plate, and then once I have the actual physical foot here, I can place it on the base plate and then build around it and make something that looks like a footprint, similar to what I did over there with the AT-AT walker. So it's actually going to look like this for a while. I know it's not pretty, it's kind of ugly, but until I get the legs of the AT-M6 done, this is pretty much what we're going to be working with. So if you can excuse the big blotch of black and red in this MOC, I think you guys will be very happy with just the amount of salt we were able to complete elsewhere. And before I even continue with this, I just want to just take a step back and just look at how beautiful this looks, guys. I mean, I feel like it just gives you the essence of Crait so well with the design that I decided to go with for the salt. I mean, I can't be more happy with it. When I came up with it, I was kind of unsure. Like, I didn't know if the studs would form something that would look like a consistent enough line to give the overall impression of Crait. But I think that it looks excellent, and I'm really happy with what we've been able to do here and kind of making this thing look just like what you see in the movie. That's ultimately what we go for with these MOCs, and I think we're doing a pretty good job here. So if you guys want to know what we've done since the last update, for the last update, I believe I left you with basically those two base plates missing. They weren't even there. And these two edge base plates, I don't think that one was even made over there. There was nothing over there, but this one, it was made, but there was no salt on it. So we covered this one up, that one up, as well as those two middle ones. I'm sure you guys will notice that there's a big chunk missing out of the middle, and there's a TIE fighter there. So the reason that's there is because we're going to have a crashed TIE fighter, so we wanted to leave that section out so we can do a little bit more experimenting with designs for a crashed TIE fighter, as well as the destroyed ground right there. There's going to be, a lot of like rubble and pieces of the TIE fighter in the ground. So we wanted to kind of give ourselves some more time to work something out with that, come up with a really good design for it, and then implement it. So that section's going to be pretty much cleared out for now. I'm hoping sometime this week we'll actually be able to work on something, hopefully at least get the ground built up, maybe have some pieces of the TIE fighter sticking out of it. I feel like we're probably going to have to wait at least until we get to the suit base plates back here to start really finalizing things, because it could be the case where there may be some pieces of the TIE fighter back here as well. That's kind of the tricky thing with building the MOC the way we're doing it. Because so much of the battle kind of takes place this way, going this way, aside from the walkers walking this way, we have to kind of build things in reverse. So the TIE fighter would have been flying from over here, and then it would come this way and crash. So when we're designing this, we have to consider, okay, how much more do we need to build this way before we start actually doing the skid marks for the TIE fighter coming in over here. So it's kind of tricky, but we're trying to leave ourselves with space as well as time to come up with a good design, and I think we're going to do a pretty good job with it. We've been looking at some pretty good reference material, and I think that's going to be one of the really exciting parts of the MOC. I think just being able to have a picture from this side of the stormtroopers and snowtroopers, well, there'll be snowtroopers at the end of this MOC, but just being able to have see them walking towards the destroyed TIE fighter, it's going to make for a really good photo opportunity, especially when they're going to be flanked by these two large AT-AT and AT-M6 walkers. So I'm really excited for that. One other thing I wanted to show you guys that we worked on for this MOC is Garrett went ahead and built this section over here. And you can see there's a plate right here with a red line in it. That's going to be basically swappable for this part right here. So you can see this can actually be peeled up and replaced with this one. So you're probably going to wonder, why is that like that? The story, well, not really the story, but just our plan for the MOC, if you guys didn't know, is it's going to have two iterations. The first iteration of the MOC is going to be kind of mid-battle. So there's going to be skimmers flying around. Kylo's shuttle is going to actually be in the air. We're going to hang that. And there's going to be troops in the trenches, and it's basically going to be taking place during the middle of the battle. What that means is that we're going to have some resistance skimmers that are going to have basically come from the door. So they're going to come out of the top of the door. They'll probably come down right here. They'll leave a red line coming all the way over here, pretty much stopping right here. And we're going to have the skimmers right here. So there's going to be one on this side and one on the other side as well. And the idea is that The second version of the MOC is going to be after the battle, which is where Kylo and Luke are going to be fighting. So we're going to have to basically like clear out all the skimmers. They're either going to be like have flown away or destroyed. So our implementation for that is basically going to be this. So the first day we'll have this salt here, so it'll be covering that. Well, it won't be covering it. It'll actually be in its place. And then the second day, we're going to pull this up. We'll actually remove the skimmer, and then we'll put this right here to basically give the illusion that the skimmer has like flown off the MOC, so it's like somewhere else. It's like not in this direct like frame that we are capturing with the MOC. And that was really made to just give more emphasis to the Luke and Kylo fight, because that's a really big part of the movie. You didn't really see too many ships like crashed around them. They really gave them their own space and their own little part of the battle to themselves. So we wanted to clear out all the speeders. We're not going to have the TIE fighters flying around or anything like that. They're either going to be crashed or somewhere off the MOC, because we want to have the shuttle landed, so it's going to basically land right in front of that crashed TIE fighter. That one will still be there, because it wouldn't make sense for that crashed TIE fighter to have, like, I guess, put itself back together and flown away. But the Kylo Ren shuttle is going to be parked right there, and then we're going to have, in the middle of the MOC, Luke and Kylo Ren throwing down. So that's our general plan for this MOC, so that's why we have the pull-up sections right there. We'll have other pull-up sections throughout the MOC, because there are going to be changes in other places as well. But right now, that can give you guys a pretty good sense of like what's actually going to be happening with this MOC between its first version and its second version. And if you're wondering why we're doing two versions, the biggest reason is because a lot of the conventions we go to, they have public days over the course of 2 different days. So that kind of gives us the opportunity to change things up and give people a reason to come for both days and not just one. So if you're contemplating showing up to Brick Fiesta, you'll want to come for both days to see both versions of this MOC, but then also to give something interesting for the people who were there, to like the other exhibitors, give them something new to see from day to day, and then also just to give us, the ability to do more with our MOC. Like, we're putting a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort into this. We want to be able to get the most amount of scenes out of it as possible, and the way to do that is to basically have different versions of it, where we can have the Kylo fight, and one day, and then the other day we can have like the battle with the skimmers. So those things, obviously, it wouldn't make sense for them to be happening at the same time. But with us having 2 different versions of the MOC, we'll be able to do that. So I'm hoping you guys are going to be excited for that as well. So just good to give you guys one quick last shot of the entire thing. Really happy with our progress. We have 12 of these squares built right now, so it's 4 by 3. The MOC, when it's finished, is going to be 4 by 9, which means that we have about 33% of the MOC at least started, almost finished, which is pretty exciting, because I feel like we've just gotten so much progress done. Like, it's pretty crazy how fast we've been able to get through a lot of this MOC. So I can't even imagine what this thing is going to look like. I'm going to have to film these videos standing all the way back here just to get the entire MOC into one frame. But that's what we have right now. And then also, before I close out this segment, I just wanted to give you guys a look at all the minifigures that we've built so far. So I think right now we're working with a little over 50. We have a little over 50 of like the Resistance minifigures, not including the main characters, because those guys won't be in the trenches. But we've built up a lot of these people. If you guys ever wonder what is my favorite part of making MOCs, it's certainly placing the minifigures. And I think Garrett, who has a really good taste for like detail in minifigures and differentiating them and making them look very realistic and like making each character look unique. I think he's really good at that, and he brings that to the table whenever we do these MOCs. So we pride ourselves in having detailed minifigures that look unique. Not just, it's not going to look like, we just took them out of the box and they went straight to the MOC. Everyone generally has been modified in some way to make them look unique, and we have so many of them right now. Right now we have pretty much enough to fill our trenches, so the trench is going to basically span over 4 base plates from here all the way to the other side of the MOC. And of course we're going to have some troops in the bunkers, as well as the cave. We're going to have to save some people for that. But we've gotten so many of them built so far where we don't need too many more, which is nice, because some of these minifigures, especially these crate type ones like this guy can get pretty pricey. So we had a lot of them to start with. We're not going to have to buy too many more, and I'm really happy with the detail we've been able to get into all of these minifigures. Also, I'm really happy with, like, I guess, the overall aesthetic of them. The fact that they all look like people that we saw on Crait. I'm really happy we were able to kind of get that going in this mock. And this thing it's looking excellent, guys. I'm really happy with it. I think this is a pretty cool shot of it. I don't really come over here a lot to show you guys this angle on video, but I think this looks really sweet. And we're going to keep building on this thing, so let's go ahead and move along, guys. One thing I wanted to highlight while I was over here looking at these minifigures is a very special group of minifigures. If you guys have been on the live streams, I'm sure you've known that we have certain moderators in there who are very reliable. They keep things running nice and smoothly in the chats. They get rid of the spam. They help us out a lot. And to show our appreciation, we reached out to them and we told them to basically send us a face and a hairpiece so we can put them in this mock. So one of the perks of, you know, coming to the live streams and becoming one of the mods is us actually putting you in the mock. So we went ahead, we made 4 of them. We still have 3 that we need to make. So unfortunately, you guys aren't going to be in this video, but rest assured, we're going to put you in this, and any future people that we end up making mods, you will get a place in one of these videos as well as the overall mock. But I just wanted to highlight these guys. So right here, first we have Lego Hub Productions. I believe he's going to get a haircut, so that's not going to be the final hairpiece that he decides to go to, but I told him I'd put in this video, and that's his minifigure right now as it stands. Right here, there's a Thomas Vandenberghe. I think I pronounced that correctly. Please let me know if I didn't. That's the face and hairpiece that he wanted to go with. Nice and simple. I can't fault him for that. Right here is General Bayleyz Bricks. He's actually the general because whenever we were in the chat, we basically said, you know, whoever's the first person to send us the hairpiece and the head that they want, they can be the general. So hence General Bayleyz Bricks. This guy builds a lot. He's actually doing a Crait MOC on his own, so I'm going to link to his information in the description. Make sure you guys check him out. And then finally, over here, we have N8 Customs. So this is a figure that he sent to us. Another great mod. Glad to have him as someone who helps out. And that's the group we have so far. So right now we're just missing the figures of StormieBrix, 5 Productions, and I think ObliviousStormtrooper. I believe that's all the mods we have so far. So once we get you guys' figures built, we'll do another update on the mod squad. And I'm hoping you guys are, 1, enjoying the streams. 2, I'm happy that you're doing it. Hoping that it's not stressful for you, but that like you actually enjoy doing it. But 3, hoping you accept our token of gratitude of putting you in the actual mock. Alright guys, that's pretty much going to finish up this video. I hope that you've enjoyed the process so far, and I feel like we've done so much, especially over this past week and a half. We've gotten so many of those squares built up. The AT-M6 is coming into its final form, and it's really becoming the dream is becoming a reality. I mean, whenever we started this thing, we had so many big plans for it, and it seems like everything is just kind of working, like it's coming into fruition. I feel like whenever you start a mock, you always have to get over that initial hill of figuring out whether or not what you want to do is actually going to work in real bricks, because there's so many different ideas you have, and you know, some of them are going to be excellent and some of them are just not going to work at all. So I feel like we're getting to that point where we're really realizing what we can and can't do with this mod, and fortunately for us, a lot of the things that we want to do, we have been able to. So I think it's coming along very well. Guys, of course, let us know what you think. What do you think of some of the decisions we've made? What do you think of the progress so far? Are you happy with it? Are you excited for the mock? All that stuff, let us know in the comments. And I really just can't wait to see where this thing is going to come in these upcoming weeks, because we're getting some more parts in. We're going to be able to do more squares. We're getting into more interesting parts of the mock. So we're going to be able to start doing some of like the crash speeders, the crash TIE fighters, the lines in the ground we've already started working on. So we're getting into all those more intricate parts of the mock that it's going to require a little bit more thinking on our behalf, but it's going to be a much more interesting thing for you guys. It's not going to be just us making squares of salt, which fortunately you guys have really liked. I've gotten a lot of positive responses to the design that I came up with for the ground, so I'm really happy you guys are happy with that. I think it looks very good myself, so it was kind of a gamble going with it because we kind of just ordered the parts for it, and we were like, I hope this looks good in real bricks, and it ended up looking pretty well. So we're very fortunate there, and we're just gonna keep trugging along, guys. So as for the build stream, this week it's going to be a change in schedule. So usually we'll do the build streams on Friday. This week we're going to switch it to Tuesday because that's the day we're getting parts in. So kind of the same thing that we did this week, except now it's going to be scheduled. It's not going to be a surprise build stream. Our schedules didn't allow us to do the build stream on Friday. So this Tuesday, guys, at 2 p.m. we're going to be live streaming the Crait build. So make sure you guys stop in for that. If you're someone who watches these update videos and you want a more in-depth look at the build process, and you can see us actually putting the bricks together, or if you just want something to listen to, like you want to hear us babble on about Star Wars for like 5 hours at a time, and you just want to listen to it as a podcast, the build stream is the way to go. I'm sure if you guys go look in the comments, if you look in the comments even on this video, I'm sure that people will tell you that the build streams are one of the more fun aspects of this channel. So make sure you guys are checking that out if you're not doing so, and we'll be back again very soon. So as I always say, guys, if you like what we do, go ahead, support the video by hitting a like on the video, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, and we're going to be back very soon. See you guys. Thanks for watching.